Well, hello everyone. It's Mike here. I just want to welcome you back to Mr. Cast Iron. And boy, we've got an exciting show tonight. I've been really looking forward to turning the tides, turning the table on this gentleman we're going to have on tonight. Many of you know him. He calls himself the lazy cook, and I often argue with him about that. I just don't believe that. But anyway, let me quit rambling on and go ahead and pull our guest on tonight. Hey, Pete, how you doing, buddy?
All good, mate. Thanks. How are you?
I'm doing good. How do you like that background there?
I'm kind of liking that, mate. You've even got the Union flag the right way up. That's unusual too. I'm impressed.
Well, good deal. Good to have you with us, man. I've been looking forward to this. We were introduced way back, seems like in November, I believe it was, and I watched one of your shows, and you were interviewing, I want to say either Patrick or Melissa with One Hot Bite. I forget which one it was. And at the end of your show, you said if anyone would like to come on to my show and be interviewed, just leave me an email. And so I did, and we set up a time, and you interviewed me. So now we get to turn the table here. How about that?
That's justice for you.
You think justice is going to be served tonight, huh?
I think it will. I think it'll be served in double helpings. Let me see if we can get a better focus on.
Yeah, let me try to pull us in.
That's probably a bit better.
There we go. Well, we got a few people already in the chat room here. Looks like Lisa D's Delight. She says she's excited, so we are too. We appreciate you being here, Lisa. And of course, naturally got Stephen and Jacqueline with us. I'm running solo again today. Stephen, Teresa's out at the church doing a wedding, what do you call it, a shower? Not a wedding, but baby shower. So she's helping out on this. She always does stuff like that. But anyway, good to have you with us moderating. Looks like we got Billy with Strong's Adventure. Good to have Billy. And so we're going to go ahead and get started. So, Pete, tell me a little bit about yourself, man.
Oh, my background is I was in the British military for about 17 years. Yeah, 17 years in total. I started in Army College as a boy of 15 years old.
Wow.
And then I went on to serve in the colours in the regular army for a total of 15 years. I was in logistics, operational logistics, quite often in either vehicles or ammunition and explosives.
Wow, explosives, huh?
Yeah, things that go bang.
So you've probably been all around the world then, I imagine.
Yeah, I was posted to Hong Kong for 2 years, from 82 to 84. I've served in Germany. I've even done a little bit of time in Canada, in Alberta there.
Wow. That's interesting. Well, let me ask you this. How did you, what made you decide to do a YouTube channel? What made you decide to start making videos like this?
I think my biggest inspiration was a friend, Reshmi from Taste of Trini channel. I'd gone on looking for a recipe for Stephen will like this. I went on looking for a recipe for doubles because I'd heard about this famous Trinidadian street snack called doubles, which is like a chickpea curry with chutneys in bread in a sort of flatbread wrappers, and it's a fantastic street snack. And I wanted to learn how to make it, and I tried several recipes, and hers was the best. And I got on and watched a few of her videos, made friends with her. One day she invited me to go over, but that was after I'd started my own channel. A year after I'd got in touch with her channel, I thought, well, you know, people might be interested in what I've got to do. Why not? So I kind of went in. I tried to stylize it at first, and I didn't like it. So I started. Someone said to me, "Well, just be yourself." So that's kind of what I do.
Yeah. Well, I forgot to mention to everyone in the chat room here that you're actually from over in Wales. And what part of Wales are you in?
I live in Rhyl in North Wales.
North Wales.
Yeah, it's the part of Wales at the top which borders onto the Irish Sea, and
Okay.
we're not far from Liverpool, Manchester,
Yeah.
that sort of area.
Well, we've got Stephen with Cooking and Jacqueline, or not Cooking with Jacqueline, but Cooking with this guy. He's from Dublin, Ireland. Also, we interviewed him a while back, so he's not too far north of you then.
Where is he? In Ireland?
Dublin.
He's actually physically a little bit south and to the west.
Southwest. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But more like west southwest than south southwest, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's Coleman. We got Grilling and Chilling with Coleman. We interviewed him recently, so good to have you with us, Coleman. And I don't know
Thanks
what
for joining.
Billy's saying. I don't know why, but I lose my internet connection every time Mr. Cast Iron goes live. So, well, we hope you don't, Billy. So, anyway, we appreciate you being here too. We got Grumpy Old Gringo in the house with us. So, man, they're starting to pile in. Lee was Smoking Bears. So, several people in here to see what you're all about. Pete?
Oh dear.
Yeah,
Oh dear.
I know. But you know, you have this tagline as the lazy cook, and why did you come up with that, or how did you come up with that name?
I think it was it's a name that I took at the beginning because I was going to do certain things, but it just kind of stuck with me anyway. Even though I'm not terribly lazy in all the recipes I do. That my latest one, the pork steaks cooked on a bed of veggies, that's really lazy. You just throw everything into one pan and throw it in the oven and walk away for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got Mark would never say never barbecue with us too. Good to have you, Mark. But no, I just tend to disagree with you. You know, I don't think you're a lazy cook at all. Matter of fact, I think you put a lot of effort into the dishes that you make. I mean, you impress me on a lot of the things, the different types of ingredients that you use on a lot of your cooks.
Yeah, well, I kind of got my education in food during my travels in the military, so particularly Hong Kong. I think most of my mental food philosophy comes from the Cantonese food philosophy. I believe that there's no substitute for fresh and good ingredients, and you let the ingredients do the talking. You don't mess with it too much. That's kind of my philosophy. Yeah.
So is that the direction you always wanted to go when you began your channel? Were you always wanting to do cooking videos, or did you have other things in mind?
Well, before there was either a thing called YouTube, I was kind of interested in putting together a book of all my recipes, but I thought again about that. Well, YouTube came along, and basically I don't need to, because all my recipes are on video now.
Well, I was going to ask you, are you still pursuing a book or a cookbook of some sort?
Oh no, it's too much like hard work. I'm a lazy cook, you know.
I can relate to that. I understand that fully.
Yeah.
Oh, mercy. Well, we got Craig with Behind the Garage Barbecue in here with us, and I don't know who else popped in there. Oh, my goodness. Samantha Lewis is with us. So good to have everybody. Guys, we got Pete Thomas with us. He's the lazy cook from over in Rhyl, Wales, Great Britain, and United Kingdom, and we certainly appreciate him being here. If you have not yet been over to Pete's channel, be sure and go check him out. Stephen's got all of his information in here in the chat room. Be sure and go check him out after this interview now. I mean, we certainly want you to hang around here. And if you got any questions for Pete, be sure and pop them in the chat room here, and we'll certainly try to get them up on the screen for Pete. But with that said, we'll go ahead and move on. If you don't mind, Pete, I'd like to pull your channel up. I usually like to do that and see if we can take a gander at your channel.
Sure.
And let's see, there it is. So certainly got a very nice banner. And there's that lie again at Lazy Cook Pete. So I just disagree. But anyway, you got 9,500 subscribers, it looks like, and you got a good layout here. So we'll kind of thumb through here. You got your popular, or not popular, but your uploads, which is every video you post. So that's good. You know, I want to talk a little bit about this because you have several different types of food on your channel. I mean, you not only do food that you may eat in and around Wales, but you have, like here we have Caribbean style food. You have a playlist here of how to prepare food and different things like that. And then of course you got your German recipes, winter warmers, curries. I got your featured channels there. So that's a very good layout on a website, or not a website, but on a YouTube channel. But I'm going to pull up your about section here and just kind of look and see what you got going on. But looks like you've had 1.5 million views since November of 2006. That's when you started your channel then?
No, I started in 2016. I was a member of YouTube for 10 years before I started my own channel.
I see. So you've been basically doing this about 5 years then?
About 5 years, yeah. I'm a slow roller.
Well, I wouldn't say that, having nearly 10,000 subscribers. I think you're doing very well. And matter of fact, we'll talk about a little bit about the technical things here before long, because one thing about you that some of the people in the chat room may not know is you inspired me. I had already had in the back of my mind to interview folks, and you inspired me because of your amount of subscribers that you have, and that you said, you know, I'll basically want to reach out to the smaller channels and try to help bring them up. And that's kind of been my mantra as well, you know, to try to reach out. I don't care if you got 5 subscribers or, you know, 55,000. So we're wanting to try to follow in your footsteps there, if you will, and try to do that. So are you still interviewing people or no?
That's kind of dried up now, but I'm cool with that. That's not really a problem. What I tend to do now is I'll watch some small channel videos, and the ones that I personally like, I will add them to one or more of my playlists,
right,
and get them some exposure there. I'll also sprinkle them liberally over my social media.
Yeah.
And give them a chance that way. I really think they'll get more exposure that way.
Yeah.
I hope, anyway.
Yeah, well, you're still helping, and even in the background, people don't realize how much sharing a video to a playlist or something like that helps. But on your videos, do you happen to know what your most popular video is?
Yeah, I think my most popular is still my steak pie.
Yeah, 303,000 views. Wow.
Yeah, and then that's closely followed by the potato leek and cheese pie.
Yeah.
Saffron rice has crept up because the Jira pork was in front of that. And savoury beef mince is a late runner that's come in recently, and it's really climbing there fast, so it could end up being my best.
Wow.
I think I had one guy recently comment on the savoury beef mince, telling me to put tomato in it and do this and do that, and I said, well, then it wouldn't be a savoury beef mince then, would it? You do get people that come out with stuff, don't you?
Yeah, you do from time to time.
So it's not a pasta sauce and it's not a chili. It's just British savoury beef mince.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, are you happy with the way your YouTube channel is laid out and how it's performing, or was there something that you would like to try to change or do?
I'm fine. I mean, it's probably taken a little more significance this last year as a source of income, although it's not much. It doesn't bring a lot of money in, but really, I just started the channel with an idea to leave a legacy of my recipes, because none of us going to live forever, right?
Well, that's true. So,
And recently I've taken the turn of starting to do a bit of gardening. I'm a complete newbie gardener. I've never gardened before in my life, save throwing a couple of kitchen herbs in a pot. That was it. But now I've kind of taken it on. That's it.
Yeah.
So I'm learning from friends like Emma and Roger at Gourmet Grandad. I'm learning from him because he's a great gardener, and my friend Emma from Nova Scotia.
Yeah. Mark would never say never. Wants to know if you can tell us a little bit how close to the water you are and how you fight the seagulls from attacking your food.
Seagulls are flying vermin. They are evil. If I leave, for instance, if I left a tray of any kind of food on my garden table and I walked it back into the kitchen to get something, by the time I got out again, the seagulls would be on it. They're evil. They're horrible creatures. They're flying vermin.
Yeah, I could hear that in the background of your video earlier. I think that's what Mark's probably talking about.
Yeah, they're waiting for me to... I'm sure they're waiting for me to grow tomatoes so they can swoop down and pinch them.
That's funny, man.
Worse than that, they're protected,
Yeah.
They're a protected species. I don't know why. They might as well protect the Cray twins.
Yeah. We got an old boy over here from my hometown, Pete, Mike Baker, Baker's Barbecue. So good to have you with us, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Looks like Coleman says, Pete, would you share your favorite batter recipe for fish and chips?
Yeah, sure. I need to do a fish and chips recipe. But it's definitely beer batter. You make it with beer, and what I like to use for the beer is don't go for these small microbrewery beers because they are ridiculously hoppy. They're too hoppy. It's like sucking a grapefruit, not drinking a beer. So avoid them because they'll make your food bitter. Use something like a mild ale. A Newcastle Brown is the best cooking beer I've ever used. It's really, really good. It's sweet, it's mild, it's malty. It's got, it's just right. So a beer batter not made with a microbrewery, ridiculously over hop beer. They seem to have got the idea that hops means flavour. Actually, it doesn't. It masks badly brewed beer, in my opinion. Yeah, that's just my opinion, boys and girls.
Yeah, we love your opinion, man. We're going to let you share your opinion all you want to tonight, Pete. You have the floor. So we got looks like Darnell Medley's in with us again tonight. Good to have you, Darnell.
Hi, Darnell.
Certainly, but what's one of your favorite recipes that you're the most proud of on your channel?
That's a good one. Really, because it uses so few resources and it's so delicious and everybody I know loves it. It's that leek potato and cheese pie. It's such a simple thing, yet it's a great picnic pie. It's great to eat cold. You want to just grab a handful of it and then grab another handful of it and eat it. It's very Moorish, very delicious, and even vegetarians can eat it, if it's made with vegetarian cheese. So it's really a good thing.
Have you ever created a video that you wished you had never uploaded?
Yeah, there was one of my first videos. I tried to be all Mr. TV and stylize it, and it made me look like a complete idiot. So I think it was up for about 3 months, and then I took it down because I realised how cringy it was.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask.
Just be yourself. It's me, Well,
I was going to ask you, did if you took it down or if you kept it up. I mean, we all certainly had to start somewhere, and I've got some videos that, I'm back and forth whether to take them down, but I thought, no, this is progress. I'm just going to show this and
No,
leave
no,
it up.
it's too cringy. I took it down. I redid it, mate. It's the pollo con piña, the chicken and pineapple. It's based on an Antiguan chicken curry recipe from the
Well,
Caribbean. Yeah.
I don't know if y'all can see in the background who just popped in here on me, but
Hi, Teresa. How you doing?
I don't
I
know.
can't hear, but hi.
You want me to hook you up?
Well, you can. Don't take a lot of time.
Okay, well, I can do it while we're talking. So, anyway, well, Pete, I know, from looking at your channel, I've been following you ever since we first met. We talk in the background a lot on email and different things, and you certainly are a good friend to me, and you've given me some good tips and advice and different things. And we all have food channels we love to watch. I mean, there's a lot of good people here in the chat room. Try to watch everybody. We can't sometimes watch them all. I mean, we try. But, I know you've got some good food channels of people that are not probably here in the chat room. What are some of them that you would suggest to us to maybe go check out that we may not have ever checked out?
The ones that you might not have checked out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I would suggest going to look at if you're into Caribbean food, have a look at Taste of Trini channel. Taste of Trini. That's an excellent channel, and that's the one that was my inspiration, that got me started, really, because she just seemed like a really sweet. I'm getting echo.
Yeah, I had to shut it off. I'm trying to hook Teresa up here. Is it out? Is it gone?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about
She
that.
seemed like a sweet homesick girl. She'd come from Trinidad and married and moved to the United States, to New York at the time, and I just thought, well, she sounds like a really nice human being, and she's making these fantastic recipes of this really exciting cuisine that I'd kind of getting into at the time. And we're still friends to this day, and she invited me over to Trinidad, and I've been over there twice now, which is documented on my channel in 2017 and 2018.
Yeah, Cooking with Stephen and Jacqueline. Of course, he's my moderator. He's
Yes.
from over in Trinidad, and then little Eric. Little Eric's our buddy. I hadn't seen him
Eric.
yet.
Eric's great.
But he's there also in Trinidad. Teresa and I have both talked about it. We'd love to go down there sometime and meet everybody, but it'd be interesting.
It'd be an education. The fantastic street food scene in Trinidad.
Yeah.
They're having recently, though I've heard they've been having a bit of trouble politically and with street crime. But
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
But that happens everywhere, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's true. So you have any other channels that you enjoy watching that we may not, other than Taste of Trini?
Yeah, I really love watching Mark Wiens. He's a kind of a hero of mine. He does food and travel. He'll go to far-flung places on the planet and eat some amazing food. He's got a fantastic way of describing it. Mark Wiens, if you're interested, he's really, really great.
Okay. Looks like Steve with Dutchy Cooking's in the house. He's there in the UK also. You know Steve?
Yeah,
Know his
Steve.
channel?
Yeah.
Great channel. I love watching his stuff. He's branching out into some different things. I've noticed he's trying some new stuff. We all do. We tend to try stuff. And I know, recently you had sent out a post on your channel that you were going to be backing off for a little bit, doing some other projects. So how was all that, or what was that, and how did all that go for you?
Kind of mixed reactions, really. It was for Wales Week Worldwide. I was invited to do a couple of videos for it. It's very difficult to run something like that without running it as a live event at a show. But they had no choice, but they had to do it all online. Otherwise, I would have been on camera cooking at a venue and producing something that would have been filmed live by somebody else. But as it happened, it ended up me just putting a video together and uploading it and then advertising it on YouTube and Facebook, and so it had the potential to put me in front of about 19 million expatriate people who claim some allegiance to Wales.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, it may even hit a nerve, and it could still happen.
Yeah.
It's just it was something to try out.
Yeah. Stephen with Cooking with This Guy is asking Steve of Dutchy Cooking, have he started the curry yet? Steve had posted a video that he's going to do curries from around the world and different things. I've noticed on your channel that you have a curry playlist.
Oh yeah, I love curries.
Yeah.
It's a great subject. I mean, curries from around the world. Even Japan has its own curry. It has its own particular, and they're very particular about how it's made and that. And Hong Kong, I've had curries that are in Hong Kong that were really good. British colonial curries with potatoes and carrots in them, and all sorts of crazy things. I've done a few on my channel, and of all the different types of dish, curries are my most predominant upload. I do love curries, as you might have guessed.
What? Yeah. What have you got coming up?
Right. Let me have a look at my to-do list. I'll just call up this now. Projects coming up. Admiral's pie.
Okay.
There's a thing called a British fisherman's pie, which is very common over here, and people like it, especially in the coastal areas. In the south coast, it's very popular. Admiral's pie is taking that up a little notch, making it a little bit more posh.
Okay.
I've got there's a couple more I want to do. I want to do a British pork pie. I want to do fish and chips. Of all the famous iconic British dishes, I've not done fish and chips yet.
You got to do that now that somebody asked about it here in the chat.
Yeah, I really do. It's definitely on the list of things to do. Yeah. I want to do a Cumberland pie. Oh yeah, there is one I want to do, and that's my friend Emma. Her chocolate pudding. She's got a very simple but very delicious chocolate pudding recipe, and I'm going to be doing that real soon. So, watch this space. What else have we got? My garden project is kind of new. I'm a newbie gardener, never done gardening before. So that'll be ongoing. I'll use those as kind of midweek fill-in videos and let people know how my newbie gardening is progressing.
Well, no, do you have a patch of ground that you're doing gardening in, or do you have a balcony or patio or something that you're doing?
I have a backyard. Which is the only place I can really grow in. And I don't have a greenhouse as yet, so we'll see how that goes. I don't have much money to buy one with either, so I'll just have to wing it and see how I get along. Yeah.
Billy over at Strong's Adventures wanting to know what's the hardest cook that you've ever made.
I'm thinking. Technically, I think it would have to be a beef Wellington. It's very expensive because you have to use a whole fillet of beef. You have to to do it right, you're supposed to use pâté foie gras underneath it. And then you need to make a puff pastry casing for the whole thing, and then bake it. So a beef Wellington is the most difficult thing I've ever done. It's the most technically advanced thing I've done, I think.
Wow, beef Wellington. Karen, in the kitchen with Karen's with us. I don't know if you're familiar with Karen or not, but
Yeah, I watch Karen's videos. Love
Yeah,
Karen's videos.
she's rocking on. She's doing real well, and we interviewed her a while back, and she's starting to do some live cooks. And I know Lee with Smoking Bears. I think he's in here or was in here earlier. I think he's working on a pork butt or something, and he said he was listening in. But these guys are starting to do live cooking shows, and that was one thing. And while they're in here, I want to mention that a lot of people, myself included, have not reached the threshold of either 1,000 subscribers or 4,000 watch hours. Now, some of them has reached one or the other, but maybe not both. And that was one thing that you told me to be sure, and do more live streams, because that'll certainly help your watch time. You care to elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, live streams they certainly increase your watch time. At the time I told you that, it was probably a good idea to do it. I do think, and I'm getting feedback now, that YouTube are onto it and that they're trying to nerf it.
Wow.
Although I don't know. I might be wrong. It's just I'm only stating other people's opinions. I don't really know enough to comment, to be truthful.
Yeah, I don't either. I have my assumptions, and I figure, people that are leaving it on for 4, 5, 6 hours, maybe not even, attending the show. They just leave it on and let it run. I'm sure they're gonna have to address some of those things. But
well, yeah, it's there's no substance to it, so it's not a good idea, is it? It's clearly not a good idea.
Yeah,
People watch YouTube videos to be entertained some way, one way or another.
Yeah.
And staring at an empty seat is not entertainment.
Yeah. Karen says live streams have helped her so much she only needs 400 more hours to reach her threshold. So
I think that's certainly good at that. At the just below 1,000 subscriber stage, it certainly helped me at that level. I did quite a lot of lives around the time for the same reason, and the only thing is with lives is I'm terrible. I'm useless. If something goes wrong, the air around my kitchen turns blue. With, as you can imagine, someone who serves 15 years in the regular army, how blue that can be. And like someone said, "Oh, why don't you do your bloopers?" I can't do bloopers. I need triple X rating just to show my bloopers, because I'm terrible. This mouth, it turns evil.
Oh, we all have problems on video and things, so
At least he admits it.
yeah.
My cutting room floor, you wouldn't want to walk on it, really. It's dirty.
Yeah. Oh, that just shows the human side of us when we all make mistakes. I was watching somebody, Booger 500. I don't know if you're familiar with her channel, but she had made a video and she realized that her microphone wasn't on, and she'd lost some footage of it. And
Booger's great, the air fryer queen. Yeah. I tell you what, I always use her thing in the air fryer. The one she says is, don't oil it straight away. Put it in for 10 minutes, take it out, give it a spray of oil, and then put it back in, and that works. It's golden advice.
Wow.
Yeah.
We've made a few things.
Yeah, we hadn't made any videos about it yet. We just been test driving our air fryers and everything. So, but
my air fryer is so tiny; it's the only thing that fits in my tiny kitchen. I honestly, I have cooked on sailing boats with bigger kitchens than I've got now.
Yeah. I want you to look at my buddy here, Pete. I put it up on the screen for the world to see this. You know, I know he loves me. You know, I know he's got my back. It may be way back, but anyway,
That's sweet.
yeah.
Gonna make me cry.
Yeah, don't be crying. So there's well, I missed Mark. There's your buddy Mark up in Maine there, Pete. So it's good to
Hi,
see
Mark.
him.
Yeah,
Mark and Rosa. So good to have
Mark
you
and
guys with
Rosa.
us. Yeah. So
Mark's great. He always comments on my videos. I love to read Mark's comments.
yeah, he
Comes up with
does
some
me
good
too.
stuff, yeah.
He really goes into some of his opinions sometime and some.
Yeah, I like that.
I do too. I love it. I love that interaction.
I love verbose comments. In fact,
So-
we do that deliberately to each other, don't we, Mike? We do deliberately verbose comments because
Yeah.
comments help. They help with the metrics.
They sure
So if
do.
you can engage your people in
Yeah.
conversation in your comments,
Yeah.
YouTube reads that as response time, engagement, all the things that advertisers want to look at. You don't look at your videos as a creator. Look at them as an advertiser.
Mm.
What I'm some coke snorting ponytail in an office selling advertising space. What do I want to see on that video? If you think of it in that framework, then you can aim towards that. You know, you can sort of pitch at that level. I personally, I don't want to go for popularity. I want to stay true to myself and my direction.
Yeah.
So I'm always going to be limited by that, and I accept that. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can have some young girl come on and do a lipstick channel, and she goes on one, and within 3 weeks she's got 100,000 viewers, and it's crazy. It's just the world we live in.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, talking about the engagement. Yeah, you and I, our thread on our comments sometimes goes 10 and 12 comments deep, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's great. It helps us all out. So, Dutchie's asking this, and that was one of my next questions here too. What are your thoughts on shorts, and are you doing short videos?
No, I do some videos that are short, but I don't intend to do shorts. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It's a bit like Twitter. I don't understand it. I don't get why it does what it does and what it means to anyone. Instagram's another one. I don't get that either. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
It's not informative, and unless you've got one of those brains that can extrapolate from a 2-minute sort of thing. You know, I can't do that.
Karen said it's been so weird. Most of her videos now have commercials, but she's not monetized yet. Does anyone else videos doing this? Well, just recently.
They do it to everyone.
Yeah, they're doing it to everybody. YouTube come out probably about a month or so ago, and I had mentioned it here in the live once before that they were doing this. They were going to be not monetizing. They were going to be running ads whether you were monetized or not. Yeah. Of course, you got to understand now. We're playing in their field. This is their baby. They own YouTube, so they can do whatever they want to do. Now, a lot of people got upset about it, but what they're doing, and what I've noticed now, maybe some of y'all have noticed something different, but I have been noticing videos that the creator's not monetized, but yet YouTube is running an ad for YouTube TV. So they're actually advertising for some of their own product. Now, whether they're doing it for other commercial reasons with other brands or some other advertisers that they, are their customers, I haven't noticed that, but they certainly are doing it for YouTube TV.
Yeah, I think it's they're too big to break. I think that's the problem. But as far as I'm concerned, slavery was abolished in my country in the middle of the 19th century.
Yeah.
So if they're expecting me to work for nothing, that's slavery.
Yeah. Marcel, Little Fish in the Kitchen's with us. So good to have you with us for sure. Let's see. Did I miss something else here? I heard YouTube is changing stuff. Yeah, they're constantly changing.
Yeah,
Constantly changing stuff.
they would add on.
Constant change is the only thing that is here to stay.
Yeah, that's right. One thing for certain is nothing certain, right?
Yeah, that's for sure.
So, now getting back to your recipes and your videos and things like that, Pete, how do you come up with the recipes? How do you formulate those? Where do you get your inspiration from? Is it something that you may have, grew up cooking as a child with your mother or grandmother or somebody, or is it somewhere when you were in the Navy and you went overseas and seen something, or a little bit of all the above, I guess? Maybe some creator that inspired you.
My mum, God rest her, could burn water.
She could burn water, huh?
She could burn water.
Okay.
Once a week, she would ritually dehydrate a shoulder of lamb. And if she said, Peter, do you want more gravy? I'll say, yeah, give me another slice. It was kind of like that. So they say that desperation is the mother of invention. So I guess we three siblings had to learn to cook a little bit for ourselves. I kind of got interested in it. I lived for a while with my dad and my German stepmother, so I learned that there was something else out there. There was more than just. She was an excellent cook. She was an horrible person, but she was an excellent cook.
Well, I noticed you had a German playlist there. I was kind of curious about that, and I wanted to ask about that.
And I served something like 5 years of my 15 in the military, actually in Germany, in West Germany, first of all in Gütersloh and then in Münster. So I already had the interest and enough of the language to get by. So I really do like German food. German street food, German everyday food is hearty, substantial. They're not as known for it as the French, for instance, but their food is good. It's solid, good food.
Yeah.
And that started me. So, and then I was stationed in Hong Kong, which is the food capital of the world, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And I could walk. I could get off I lived on a little island called Stonecutters Island. It's not an island anymore, but that's a whole new story. And we would step onto the mainland at Tim Sa Choi in Hong Kong, and I could walk 400 meters in any direction from that point and go past restaurants, New York Jewish restaurant, Australian barbecue restaurant, Indonesian, Thai, all within that sort of, even a Punjabi club mess restaurant. Everything was there just within that little area. And so, a Gurkha barracks. So there was a Nepalese cafeteria type restaurant in the Gun Club barracks, in the Gurkha barracks.
Wow.
Yeah.
You got a little taste of everything there, didn't you?
Yeah. I've been very fortunate. They say you make your own luck, and I bit the bullet and joined the military early, and as a boy, and I was very fortunate in that I saw so many things, and I saw some terrible things, but I saw many more great things.
Mark said I can mute ads if reasonable length, but 1 hour ads on the ill effects of peanuts is a bit over the line. Most videos aren't that long. Okay.
Where's that one question?
I don't know. Billy had one there.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing to cook on?
Favorite thing to cook on? Well, right now it's that cowboy wok I've turned into a disc. It was a cowboy wok kind of discarder, but I made it too big. It was a 28-inch thing, and in 2-man lift, just to get it moving about. So I got my brother to weld some legs on it. We got 3 legs on it, and now it sits as a fire bowl. So that's my new best mate. It's my new greatest thing to cook on.
Yeah.
I love cooking with cast iron, and Mike mentions my cast iron because he's a cast iron Mike. But you mentioned my new pot. I've had it 2 or 3 years. That one actually. Yeah, I do. I've done a few cooks in it, and it is a fact that the cast iron thing. If you cook in cast iron, it tastes better.
Yeah.
It's a
Mike's
fact.
got to run. Mike with Baker's Barbecue's got to run. So take care, Mike. Glad you got to
See you,
stop
Mike.
in with us.
Thanks for coming.
Teresa and Cam with Flour, Eggs, and Yeast is with us. Are you familiar with them?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, you need to check them out. They do some awesome stuff. Very creative.
Okay.
Let's see. We made it. Yeah. Will the Sunday Live be at this time each week now? No. Teresa, we only did this to accommodate Pete. Pete's in the Wales area of United Kingdom, and he's about 6 hours ahead of us. So it's about 10:45 where he's at.
Wow. Yeah.
So certainly wanted to try to have him on for a good amount of time. He was the one that initially interviewed me and kind of kick-started me to doing this. I was looking at doing it anyway, and he just kind of put the fire underneath me and got me going more or less. So
You've done great, Mike, by the way, since then. I mean, you were on, I think, less than 300 at that time. So your trajectory is really quite good. It's better than mine was at that time. I think I was so frustrated. I remember I was stuck on 12 subscribers forever. It seemed like I was never going to get above 12 subscribers.
yeah.
And then after I did the first trip to Trinidad, it rocketed up. I think it was hitchhiking, doing tandem with Taste of Trini, whose channel was doing much better. She's on something like 160,000 now. So
Wow.
Yeah, you know, it's funny how that works. You know, you struggle to get the first 100 subscribers. Seems like it just, you know, it's like it just drags on. It's like pouring molasses. And
try a whole year.
yeah, and so, you know, and then you move on. You finally reach a threshold of 500, and you think, yeah, we're trucking on now. And then, like me here lately, I've been just hovering around 700 mark, and seems like. So I've got about 230 to go to get to 1,000, but I know we're going to get there. We're just going to continue to making content. And, you know, on that note, that makes me think about something. You know, we always have to analyze what we're doing. And as you said earlier, in your own words, you got to stay true to yourself. Did you find yourself maybe going off a little bit of what your main goal and objectives were on your channel, and having to back up and recalculate and get back in line? Have you ever had to do that in your...
I think rather than an event, I think that's more of a constant thing with me. I'm constantly looking to yourself be true. It's an old saying, isn't it?
Right.
It's a lyric in several songs I can think of. Eric's in the house, by the way. Hiya.
Hey,
Hi, Eric.
Little buddy.
Yeah, I think it's more an ongoing thing with me. Is like it's one of my checks and balances. Is like, am I happy with that's really me there doing that? So yeah, and as I devising my recipes is very organic. I tend to get an idea from somewhere, and then 2 or 3 weeks later it's a video. So that's the good thing about cooking channel. You'll never run out of things to do. You'll never run out of subject matter. There's just
Did you ask?
there are just so many.
Stephen with Cooking with This Guy's got a question for you. Pineapple on a pizza. That's always one of our controversial
Serious.
questions here. And
Your pizza, your choice.
do whatever you want to do, right?
I like cooking, so I'm a caterer. I cater to what you want. If you want pineapple on your pizza, that's what you get.
There
For
you
me,
go.
I'm happy. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. Yeah, I don't mind. I'm. Don't forget that Cantonese thing I was telling you about. They like fruit and meat Cantonese food. So yeah. In fact, they have ham and pineapple stir fries in Hong Kong.
Steve over Dutchy Cooking says in Wales the power goes off at 2300.
Yeah, well, at least we got power, mate.
That's funny right there.
Yeah. If you want to sabotage the power where he lives, just put some Horlicks in the donkey.
Yeah. Well, getting back to that, that's kind of got me curious. I told Teresa, as a matter of fact, we done some brainstorming past couple days about our channel and different things. And, I know we all have goals and things, and I'm sure even a channel of your size, you've certainly got goals, that you're looking to try to accomplish, don't you?
Yeah, I think always got goals. I think it's good to set goals, but another thing is don't make your goals too terribly ambitious. It is have little achievable goals, and that way you'll achieve them, and you'll always get that positive reinforcement. If you make your goals harder to achieve, or they're too distant, it's okay to say, where are we now? Where do we want to be? And then look at the stages in between. But I think it's important to set goals that are achievable for you within a reasonable time. Otherwise, you'll get downhearted and you'll give up. And I'm not a quitter. I don't quit.
Right. Well, I know there's a few people here. Craig with Behind the Garage Barbecue just bumped over 1,000 subscribers this week. Karen in the kitchen with Karen. I know Flour, Eggs, and Yeast, Teresa and Cam, they're above the 1,000 mark, and none of them be monetized yet. They're close to it. But do you have any advice for everyone here trying to monetize? Of course, we know certainly Google AdSense is a big thing when you reach that threshold, but that's not the only way to be monetized and make money, is it?
No, there are other avenues through which you can make money. You probably want to go on, have a look at Social Blue Book. They're quite helpful. They're okay. I use TubeBuddy as well. I know Mike uses something similar to TubeBuddy, don't you?
I use both. I use MorningFame as one of my big ones. And TubeBuddy. I use them side by side. So
they're both excellent. They're just ways of making you realize there's other avenues to success. Social Blue Book will give you ideas on how to seriously sell your videos to potential suppliers and people like that. And it'll always, Social Blue Book will give you an idea of what one video is worth on the market on your channel. So as depending where you are and how many subscribers you'll get, it'll give you a figure of how many dollars a video is worth, or how much a shout out is worth on your channel. And so they're always ways of looking at it. And then there's other platforms which you can either have exclusive contract with or have what they call a YouTube contract, where you play your videos on YouTube and you also monetize it on their platform. I've kind of looked at that. Let me see if I can give you for instance on it. And another one to do is buy me a coffee. That's another nice one to get up there. I mean, you can just put it in your description below your video. Get people to buy you a coffee. Every now and again, somebody buys me a coffee, and that's always nice. I'm looking for this. Oh yeah, that's it. Hang on. Rumble.com. You can monetize your videos on rumble.com. Yeah. I don't know an awful lot about it, but that will offer you several contracts through which you can put your content, and it's up to you whether you want to. You can share it to YouTube or not, but they won't give you such a great deal if you're sharing it to YouTube as well.
Well, you made a statement one time that stuck with me. You had mentioned that only 2 or 3 of your videos is what you make the most money from.
Yes.
Can you elaborate a little bit on that with us?
Yeah, I would say that when you showed those videos earlier, the top 3 or 5 videos probably account for 80% of my income.
Is it just because the amount of views, or?
I've got 400 more than nearly 500 videos up. I've got something like 460 videos up, and most of my income comes from 5. So keep making content, keep sharing unique content. That's all I can say. Unique to you, something that you do that, or you do it in a way that nobody else does, because it's no good just being another rack of ribs or another pork butt, because they are 10 a penny on the internet. They are. Do something that's unique to you, something that's got your specific signature on it. And I think I don't always practice what I preach on this, but I think that's kind of what YouTube are after. They're after original content. And to some extent, that coke snorting ponytail, he's looking for the same thing, isn't he? He's looking for something that he can say is unique to hang his next advert on.
Yeah. Well, we're bumping right up against the 1 hour mark. Are you able to stay with us for a little while?
Yeah, I'll keep swinging. Yeah.
Okay, good deal. Have you? We talked a little bit about your goals and things. Where do you see your channel in 5 years? You have a vision?
In the bankruptcy court.
Oh, let's hope not, huh?
5 years. I think it's very hard to project that far forward at this stage because YouTube seems to be doing everything possible to shoot itself in the foot. So I don't even know if YouTube will still exist in 5 years' time. So it's really hard to say. YouTube it's shifting the goalposts so often, and they're not little changes; they are big changes each time. There was Adpocalypse 4 years ago, and then now there's they just keep shifting the goalposts. So, is the skipper at the helm driving it towards? Is he in a hurry to make it irrelevant, or what? I don't know.
Well,
I don't know. I really don't know. 5 years is too much. 5 years is I can't.
Yeah.
I would hope that if YouTube's still going, that I'll be somewhere near the 50,000 mark. I would hope in 5 years' time, but it's really hard to say. You only need one video to go viral, boys and girls. You only need one, and it can put you on the front of everybody's page. So the more you make, it's like the old Zig Ziglar saying, the more you see, the more you sell.
Yeah.
So really just put more out there, more original content.
Yeah.
Stuff you do that nobody else does.
Let's see here. Smoking Bear said, has Pete ever had a spam curry, or how would you like to make one?
Never had a spam curry. I have had sweet and sour spam. And that was one of those things where you look in the cabinet, you're young, you've got no money, and you're desperate, and you think, well, what have I got? I've got a can of spam, I've got some flour, got some beer, I've got beer, and and I got some oil to fry it in. So what you do is you make a beer batter, cubes of Spam, and a sweet and sour sauce, which you can make with ketchup and vinegar and sugar. Curry. How would I make a Spam curry? Well, I think I would have to make a tomato-based curry because that would go really rather well. But the Spam can't go in too early. You would have to sort of drop the Spam in chunks, kind of at the close to the end of cooking, and then cook it till it's just warmed through. So that's how I'd do it. Yeah, so it'd be a tomato-based curry and 1-inch cubes.
Dutchy says he made a Spam curry, posted it on American Forum, and got banned for posting spam.
Oh,
True story. So. Hey, how do you what do you use? Let's talk a little bit of technical stuff for a minute. What are you using to record your videos with?
My camera, I use. It's just, my main camera is this Sony, and it's a A68.
Okay.
I think you can see there.
Do you use an external microphone with it?
And it's got this lamp on top, clip on, which runs off a battery, which slots in there. So I use the generic microphone in the camera. I don't. Those of you who know Sony cameras, they'll know they're internally stabilized, and they'll know that they've got excellent microphones. So I don't really have a problem with it, especially in my little kitchen. If you've got a big kitchen, you're going to have problems with sound, and you're going to have to wear a lavalier mic. But because of where I am in my kitchen, it's like right at the end of the kitchen, and it's enclosed, so the sound does. It's really good acoustics in that particular area, so I don't really have too much of a problem.
Yeah.
Outdoors, I use a different camera. I use this little fella here. That's Osmo Pocket. I don't know if you see it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got a few nice features, and I use that with a lavalier mic. If you look at the bottom of any of my videos, you see a list of all the equipment and software I use. I do that. I do that in all my videos, in the description below my videos. It's all there at the bottom. So there's a list of all the equipment. As for the only other camera I've got at the moment is I've got the camera that is on my mobile phone, like most people use.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you're talking about your equipment that you put in your description. I do the same thing. If you're an affiliate, which I'm an affiliate with Amazon and several other places, but I leave that in all of my videos. And have you had success with having links in your videos with earning money that way? I mean, I certainly
no,
have.
not yet.
No,
not yet. Nothing.
Yeah.
Have you? Did you say you had?
I have. I had a pretty good little sale this week on some stuff that was cast iron related or some. I knew it was somebody that had seen one of my YouTube videos, and they ordered some stuff. I mean, YouTube, or not YouTube, but Amazon doesn't pay very much. But
but you've got a distinctly bigger market in the United States. I mean, it's possible for me to open an Amazon US account, I believe, and become an affiliate there as well, and also Canada. So if I did that in all the English speaking countries, I might be okay. But in my UK Amazon, I've got affiliate links. Nearly everything I use that I buy off Amazon is linked on my Amazon affiliate site. But if you're looking at one of my videos and you see an ingredient, you think, well, that's weird. If you look on my Amazon thing under ingredients, there'll be an Amazon listing for it. So at least you know what it is, even if you don't want to pay shipping from the UK for it.
Yeah, Dutchy said he's earning $1.20. Karen says $1.98. So yeah, I mean, it's exposure there again. Like Pete was saying, the more we put content out, the more people see. And it's just amazing. Older content sometimes gets revived. I had a lady left a comment on a video, one of my very first videos that I created as Mr. Cast Iron. Actually, at the time, my channel was called Keto Style because I was, going in the keto direction at first and ended up taking a turn and recalculating and doing something that I was, had a lot more passion about, and that was cast iron cooking. But anyway, she just left me a long, a very lengthy comment on one of my my videos. And so, that content's out there. Once you put it out there, it's out there. So, if you're an affiliate, be sure and put your links in your channel, and you never know. I mean, I have TubeBuddy. I'm an affiliate with TubeBuddy. I'm an affiliate with MorningFame. And, MorningFame, Nico, I've been wanting to try to get him on here to interview him for everybody because he's got a great little service, and it's really helped me a lot as far as ranking videos. But, I just from referrals, I don't get any money from him, but I get free months, of service. And I'm now somewhere like in 2023 before I have to pay for anything. So,
well, that's good. Yeah, that's good.
But because of so many referrals, if you just leave a link either in your description, or certainly if you're trying to promote something on that particular video, what I do, I try to pin post that comment with that link in there. And Dutchy put something in here. He said he clicked on my link for the chainmail scrubber.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah.
In UK, it's $60. It's not that high over here, so
but
I don't get it.
if I search on chainmail scrubber on Amazon UK, it's about 11 quid.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
But so you guys keep doing that. We'll pick up a little bit here and there, but you never know. It's like Pete says, the more content you got out there, more people are seeing it, and you have more opportunities to do that. But on your videos, now you were talking about your cameras and your microphones and different things. What are you using to edit your videos?
Well, I'm a Linux freak. I'm a bit of a geek.
Okay.
After I came out of the military, I largely worked in the IT industry, and I'm a bit of a geek. So I run a Linux computer. I like to do everything for free. I don't like Microsoft. I don't like the way they're very intrusive with Windows 10. Windows 10 is what we used to call back in the day spyware.
Okay. Yeah, they all do that. Google, everybody. It's just Facebook. Everybody's spying. It's
everyone's spying on you. Everybody. Well, sorry, they don't call it spying. They call it information mining or something.
Yeah.
Data mining. But you've got. I use a Linux PC, and everything that works on it is Linux. I used Kden Live for a while, which is available on Windows 2. On Windows, if you know what I mean, as well. But now I use Shotcut. The best thing I like about Shotcut is it's simple. It does the edit side that I want. I don't have very demanding edits and transitions and stuff. I do all my own graphic design work. I do all my own logos and things like that. I do all that in GIMP. Because I don't use Photoshop, I use GIMP, which is the nearest thing I can get on Linux. And GIMP again is available for Windows. Shotcut, I believe, you can run on Windows too. I think you can run Shotcut on it. But the best thing about Shotcut is it's got hardware acceleration. So a video that would have taken half an hour to render in Caden Live only takes me about 6 or 7 minutes in Shotcut, because it uses my rather ample graphics card. I've got quite a geeky computer, so it's got a powerful graphics card. And with the GPU running, hardware acceleration, it can crunch through those numbers real fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Short videos versus longer videos. What's your opinion on those?
I don't understand the short video thing. I don't understand what.
I'm not talking about
works.
just the shorts. I'm talking about shorter length videos versus longer videos. What's your take on that? Do you think it's better to make shorter videos, or do you think it's better to make longer videos? I'm not talking about these new shorts.
No, I think it depends on your audience. And I look in the Google Analytics, in the YouTube Analytics,
right?
What my audience demographics are, and I pitch at them. If my audience were all under 25, I'd be pushing out videos of 12 seconds and no more. They seem to have very short attention spans, or they get impatient, or I think they click off if they're too long. Whereas older people, I think people who watch my videos in particular, they'll go for my style, which is more informative. I don't tell you what to do. I'll tell you why I do it, why I make that choice, what drives my decision, because I want people to be able to look in the fridge, see a list of ingredients, and see a finished dish. That's my ultimate goal with people, is so that they can see a finished dish by looking in the fridge. Yeah.
Okay, now you said something that I hope everybody in the chat room caught this, and anybody watching this in the replay, if you certainly have a YouTube channel and you're wanting to learn a little more about this. So you're saying that we need to be monitoring our YouTube studio for certain things like search terms, certain things like watch time, certain things like the countries that people are coming from.
Look at all the metrics, because the reason YouTube are putting them up there is because they matter. So, at some this is my logic about it, is that the reason YouTube collects that information is because they matter. They matter to somebody. They either matter to advertisers, they matter to them in knowing where to place your videos and when to place them, and that sort of thing. Yeah. So the more you work to that within your style, and without forgetting who you are, the more you work towards that, the better your videos will do, I think. Definitely, yeah.
Karen says she never usually watch a video over 18 minutes.
I call it the Vox Pop generation. Some people have got attention spans of 5 minutes, but I think Karen's right. I mean, in the military, we used to say a lesson shouldn't be more than 20 minutes long. Mm-hmm. And a double lesson is 40 minutes, but it's 20 minutes, 5 minutes, and another 20 minutes, if you know what I mean. So a double lesson was 45 minutes in total, because you got a 5-minute fag break, a cigarette break in the middle of it.
Yeah, Dutchy said, and I forgot what we're talking about now, so I don't know what he's talking about. But anyway, my mind's wandered off too, and the pastors knew there, Dutchy. No, he's saying we discussed this when we talked on the show too about that. And
I think there was a problem with kids who grew up at a certain time during the Vox Pop thing. It's almost like their attention span was like, they'd go along, they'd watch something, and then they'd stop it after something like a minute, because they didn't think that their audience had anything like an attention span. And to to people like that, there's a problem because they'll learn what to do, but they'll never learn why. You know, you need to learn what if you learn to cook at your mother's knees or your grandmother's knees, you learn why she did it that way. Why not just that she did it that way? You learned why she did it that way.
Yeah. Well, I had to throw this up here. This is a laughing, just a running joke between me and my Teresa and Cam there. Teresa made a video the other day and she got tongue-tied and she said something about she was going to pull out the thumbtacks instead of the toothpicks. And we caught that and she made a blooper about it. It was funny. So my Teresa turned around and bought a box of toothpicks and put a piece of paper around it and called it thumbticks and
from Arkansas.
Sent it to them from Arkansas, you know. So, but that's funny right there. You know, talking about that, you're talking about your mom and your grandmother and everything, and recipes. Let's talk a little bit more about food. We'll get off the technical stuff. But what is one of your favorite foods to cook? I know you cook lamb.
Yeah, I love lamb. My comfort food is really my comfort zone is Cantonese cooking because it's all about the prep and the cooking's over in a few seconds. That's kind of it with Cantonese. You know, you assemble your ingredients. You spend time prepping it. That's where the time is in Cantonese food, is in the prep, but then the cooking is over in a flash. Yeah. So I kind of like it. I like that's my comfort zone. But another great thing I love is pies.
Yeah. Mark's picking on me. He's always very observant of what I say and do from time to time. So he always points that out to me, and I love that. But he said that forgetting things getting worse on my part. You know, I don't even know what he's talking about. But anyway, little Eric's got to go. He said, Uncle Mike, I have to finish up a video. Catch you later. So have a good night, little Eric. We'll see you, buddy.
Later, take care. Eric, mate. Cheers.
Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great, man. So anyway, with that said.
Pies. Pies. He was talking about pies.
Yeah, he was talking about pies. meat pies, probably.
I know, pies.
But what was your earliest recollection of cooking? What was the first thing you remember cooking on your own?
Oh, it had to be something like chips, you know, French fries, or deep fried eggs.
Eggs?
Deep fried eggs.
Cook an egg into the deep fryer and it turns into a raggy mess. Cleans up your fat, though. It really cleans up your fat.
Oh, man. Marcel
cleans up your cooking oil.
There you go.
Yeah.
Marcel
says
back
in the day, you know,
up.
We used to cook in the 60s. Nobody'd heard of cooking oil. We were cooking in lard, you know.
Sure.
That's it.
I think it's great. I cook in bacon grease now. I think it's great.
Well, you hear about all this health conscious this and health conscious that. Go back to the 60s. Look at street scenes from the 60s. And look how healthy and skinny everybody looked. Yeah, now they're eating healthy. Have a look outside, boys and girls. Have a look outside. And you know, there's definitely an obesity problem. I've got it. Look, I've got. You're looking at me here with 3 or 4 chins. I used to have one.
Yeah, me too. I
used to have one chin. Believe it or not.
That comment
yes.
too.
Yeah.
Mark would never say never. You know, he's talking about obesity and junk food and everything. Wanting to know if you have Little Debbie snack cakes over there.
Don't know what they are. Are they like Twinkies?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Little Debbie's is a name brand.
Twinkies is not something you should do to your body, really.
It's the truth.
Mark's wanting to know if I got a pinto bead in my beard there, but
oh, don't go there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like to swear, but Twinkies are a chemical shitstorm, mate. I tell you, they're not good.
That's
They're not
true.
good.
But what snacks do you like? Do you have a snack like that? That's
In the UK, we have quite a lot of tasty little snacks. A favourite one we had when we were growing up were these little chocolate Swiss rolls in chocolate covered mini Swiss rolls.
Yeah.
They were very popular.
little
What
baby
else was? We used to love those. They're like Twinkie. They're like Twinkies, only they're better.
Yeah.
But they're not much better. I mean, it's sugar, fats, and chemical. But
Billy Strong's Adventure, he's another cast iron cook, and he said lard and bacon grease are nectar from the gods.
yeah, I totally concur. And people are, go back to the 60s when everyone was cooking in that, and look at the street scenes. The people look healthier. During the Second World War, apparently the British never ate better than when they were on rationing during the Second World War and for the few years afterwards. They were never healthier as a nation than then.
Yeah.
So that was while we were cooking in Greece, and we didn't have an NHS and National Health Service back then either.
Right.
We've never been healthier.
Well, not just pork fat like lard and bacon grease, but beef tallow's good. Chicken fat is good. Duck fat. I mean, any kind of animal fat really so much better than vegetable oils, in my opinion.
If I ever did a video on how to make the perfect French fries, perfect fish and chips, I would have to get goose fat and Maris Piper potatoes, because that is the way forward. Goose fat. The reason goose fat is it's got a really, really high flash point. It's got a really high temperature before it burns, so you could take them right up in temperature. Cook your fries and your fish real quick.
Well, Pete,
oh dear,
it's been fun.
We're going downhill now.
Yeah, we're going to have to go now. So
It's
definitely going downhill now, mate. That's it.
Patty Joe, Patrick.
We got the digger deviants in, mate.
Oh, Lord help us. Oh, good to have you, Patrick. We love you, man. We got you back. It's way back, but anyway.
All right, mate. Yeah.
So you guys on hamburger meat now, you call that minced meat, right?
Mince, yeah, mince. Generally, we call it mince. Mince mince meat is something else, really, because that's a dried fruit concoction that's in a jar, like jam. Like when we have mince pies at Christmas, they're made with something called mincemeat, which is not meat at all. It's fruit, and I think there's a bit of suet in there. It's like a fruit jam with dried fruit jam with suet in it. And then we bake it in a pie for mince pies. Do you have mince pies in the States? Do you have them there?
Yeah, but I think we would just probably, I don't know what we'd call that really. Just, I don't know.
It's like a mixed fruit pie made with dried fruit. Yeah. I think they have them in Australia. Yeah, we call it mince. I ought to show you You can buy it in jars over here, mincemeat, like Robertson's mincemeat. Yeah.
It's not a real popular.
Yeah, it's not real popular, but we do have it. Lee over at Smoking Bears, he's another cast iron cook primarily. He says bacon grease is the reason he's not vegan.
Yeah,
and
it's a good reason for not being vegan, actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mark over at Never Say Never, he's always got to have BACON in his videos.
He's right. He's absolutely right.
There's Tennessee bucket.
If in doubt, put bacon on it or wrap it in bacon. If you're if you've got a pie and your pie's not working, wrap the pie in bacon, bake it in the oven.
Yeah. Jeff over at Tennessee Buck Outdoors is here with us. Good to have you, brother. He's
Hi, mate. Hi,
another old country boy over here. I don't know if you're familiar with his channel or not, but
So many new channels and so little time.
I know. Well, I'll leave this up where when the channel or when the video renders, you can go back through the live chat. That's what Teresa and I do. We go back and check out all the comments and
Yeah.
do the replay so we can pick up on new things, and usually go check out channels and subscribe when possible. But so on that note, folks, if you've we got Mr. Pete Thomas with us from over in Wales, United Kingdom. If you've not yet been to his channel, be sure and go check him out. Stephen has got all of his credentials in the chat room there for all of his channels where you can find him and everything. Be sure and go check out his videos. Leave him a thumbs up. Leave him a comment. He'll certainly comment back to you on every comment. And, be sure and subscribe to his channel. I know he'll certainly appreciate that. And so with that said, what's one of the favorite things that you like to cook as far as desserts? I mean, is it that mincemeat, or do you have some other type of dessert that you guys cook?
Yeah.
That's
I'm not really a great fan of dried fruit because for those who don't know, I'm diabetic.
Yeah.
And dried fruit has got sort of lethal concentrations of fruit sugars in it. So I try and avoid things like that. My favorite fruit in the world is mango. I love mango, so I love anything with mango on it.
okay.
You won't find an awful lot of desserts on my channel, but my favorite of all is the mango. It's a coconut cream pudding with a mango coulis on top, and it's just dirty good. There's good. It's good. There's damn good, and then
Yeah.
it's dirty good.
Dirty good.
Dirty good.
Mm,
Dirty good.
Dirty goods at the
yeah.
top.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
Yeah.
I have things I like to get out and get dirty with. There's just some things that are just
That's
that
it.
See how
good.
he lifted his eyebrows.
I'll tell you how good it is. It's bacon good. That's how good it is.
Wow. Can't beat that. So,
BACON, mate. BACON. You could do a song about that, couldn't we?
yeah, sounds like
In
the
fact,
Bee
we ought
Gees.
to. We ought to do one where we all do, like that. Was it
Yeah.
Ottawan?
Yeah,
The band did that disco thing. We do it like bacon in
yeah.
with little
YMCA.
strips of bacon going across the screen.
Let's don't say we did. How about that, huh?
That's a good idea.
All right, now let's get back to your childhood a little bit. Now, when you was a child, did you eat the crust on bread, or did you throw that away and peel that off and just eat the middle of the bread?
I was born at 60.
Okay, so you started eating the crust.
No, I was always I was always a hungry kid. I was always running about, getting dirty and taking the skin off my knees and climbing trees and being adventurous. So nothing got thrown away, nothing got wasted.
Right.
Yeah.
Was there anything when you were a kid that you didn't like to eat that you find yourself liking to eat now as an adult?
Yes, very much. Celery.
Celery.
I hated it as a kid. In fact, if you'd have mentioned it within earshot of me when I was 7 years old, I'd probably thrown up.
Yeah.
But as I think it was again going back to Hong Kong, we had a meal at a different barracks, and it was a chicken cooked with celery and cashew nuts, and it was celery used as a stir-fry vegetable. Absolutely gorgeous. I think I've done a video of it way back, about 4 years ago. I probably did a video on it back then. Chicken with celery and cashew nuts. Celery, yeah, definitely.
Okay. What meal is your favorite? Breakfast, lunch, or dinner?
We're famous for our breakfast in the UK. We do have a good breakfast, a full English breakfast as they call it. It's got to be breakfast. It's an important meal as well. We should eat breakfast, but in Britain we've always been famous for our breakfast, and foreigners that come to Britain generally say good things about the breakfast. They like our breakfast.
Do you have very many breakfast videos? Do you make breakfast videos or no?
Yeah, quite a few, I think. Uh, Going back a couple of years, I used to go out and have a breakfast meal and film it, and have a breakfast meal somewhere else and film it, and then I ran a bed and breakfast for a while, and I used to cook breakfast for guests. So I did a video on showing people how we used to do that.
You run a bed and breakfast, huh?
Yeah, and get it and presenting it nice, and doing the right thing. Yeah, I ran it. It was an eco farmhouse in Torrington in Suffolk. It was really, really nice. It was a beautiful, beautiful place, but nothing lasts forever, and the owner sold it from under us.
Mm. Well, I bet that was interesting and fun while it lasted, though.
Yeah, it was all right. It was really enjoyable. Yeah, it was a beautiful place. Like all old buildings, there was a lot of problems with it, but there was an orangery, south-facing orangery there, and it was just gorgeous. Like a wooden glass sort of building with a lantern roof. It was just beautiful. Great place for a great setting for the breakfast meals, right next to the kitchen. And I was cooking their breakfast meal on a big farmhouse Arga cooker. And it's a pity I didn't do videos back in those days. They would have been viral.
So I'm sure you interacted with the guest, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. What's one of the freshest memories about some of the guests you had there? Do you have anything that just stands out?
There was one young couple. They were two of the most beautiful people I'd ever seen. The girl was German. He was he was I think he was something in the city, banker, merchant banker or something. But they weren't just beautiful people. They were really engaging and nice, and yeah, I remember them. Yeah. Oh, and another one, a friend of a friend who was a Czech girl. She's that they lived on and around the farm. They were nice, and their family and their children. It was nice. Yeah.
Mark with Never Say Never Barbecue's got to go. He's got to work coming up pretty early. So appreciate you being here, Mark. Take care, buddy. Have a good week.
Bye, Mark. Thanks, mate.
Stephen, cooking with this guy, wants to know something about black pudding. What's your feelings about black pudding?
All of it.
You love it?
Yeah, I've had black pudding now I've had German Blutwurst, Zungenwurst. Zungenwurst is got pork tongs in it, as well as a rather gelatinous blood pudding with pork tongs in it, and it is so good. Zungenwurst. And then there's the French boudin noir, which are not unlike our own British ones. In Britain and Ireland, we've got several different types of black pudding. Several different types. Some parts of the country, they got large chunks of back fat in them, pork back fat. Northern Ireland and Scotland, they've got oatmeal in them, whereas in Britain, in England, they tend to have barley in them, and Wales. In Trinidad, they do fantastic blood pudding. There was a little place we went to, visited. It was a street food stall, and they did blood pudding, which they fried there and then in front of you, and served it with Trinidad hot pepper sauce, and it was really, really good. They also did these little Trinidadian oysters, which were nice too.
Brandon with Taylor's Fire and Smoke popped in here with us. Good to have you with us, my friend.
Hi, Brandon.
He just recently reached his threshold. He'd had the subscribers, but he didn't have watch time till just recently. So, congratulations on that, my friend. I'm getting notes passed to me. Which is better, Vegemite or Marmite? Now that was my wife. She started this. Now, Pete.
Did she actually write that on a piece of paper?
Yeah, she wasted a piece of paper, didn't she?
Swearing, that is, using the V word in front of me. Marmite. Don't use the V word. You're too much of a lady to use the V word.
Okay.
Oh, that's funny. Do you like spicy food?
I love spicy food. Yeah, spice is the variety of life.
Yeah. What's one of the spiciest things you've eaten?
Spiciest, as in piquant, as in hot piquant. I did a challenge for the ALS challenge a couple of years back, and I ate a spoonful of Maruga scorpion pepper sauce, and that it's only one step down from a Reaper, and it is hideously powerful, especially in sauce form, and it blew my socks off. It blew my wig off, and I don't even wear a wig.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
we got
it's
another.
real.
Yeah. We got another question here. Do you cook in an air fryer, or when are you going to buy one?
I've got one. I've got a midget air fryer. It's the only thing that fits in my tiny kitchen. So it's I think it's ridiculously small, about 2 liters, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about some personal things, if you don't mind.
Getting personal.
Yeah, we're going to get personal now.
I didn't do it, honest.
He's talking about the jail one.
I didn't do nothing.
You know, there's one more thing about food before we go I want to think about. What one food have you never eaten that you'd like to try, I guess? I always like to ask that question.
I've been very fortunate in my life. I've tried most things. And if you've never had beef rendang, go find an Indonesian place and have beef rendang, Malay or Indonesian, and have a rendang, because it is the most beautiful thing in the world to eat.
Well, I'm looking
Beef
here.
rendang.
I'm looking here at Patrick in the comment, and it just reminded me. He and I've had a conversation several times about venison. Have you ever?
Oh,
had
I
venison?
love venison. Yeah,
Okay.
I've had. Right, I'll tell you the exotic meats I've had, and then I'll work up to the best one that I've had. I've had venison. When I lived in Porlock in Somerset, it's right next to the Exmoor National Park, and they have culls there, and they have red deer. And so when they had the culls, we used to get red deer venison in the local butcher. And Clive was a really good butcher, and I'd get these nice cuts of venison and cook that. That was delicious.
Yeah.
In '76, I was stationed, temporarily stationed in Suffield in Alberta in Canada, and not far from Medicine Hat. We went on a sort of an R&R weekend to this guest ranch in just inside British Columbia. Actually, I think it was in Alberta, near Pincher Creek, and they served us moose meat. And that, if you love beef, you're gonna love moose. It's like beef on steroids. It's really beefy beef. I've had reindeer meat, caribou meat, and that is excellent, really, really good. But the best of all meat I've had was from a South African butcher in Eastleigh near Southampton, and that was kudu meat. Kudu is one of the larger antelope, like an eland. And I would recommend that you never eat kudu, because nothing will ever be as good again. Kudu is really great. And South Africans like to hang their meat longer, so it's a little bit more gamey, and it was the best meat I've ever had. And then I thought, well, is this a freak? And then a couple of months later, I got the chance to go back again and buy a couple of more pieces of steak, steaks from the same butcher, and it just confirmed my. And he also sold the dried meat, the biltong made of kudu meat, and everything else is tame by comparison.
Yeah. Have you ever had bison, buffalo?
I've never had. I don't think I've had bison. I've had. If I have had bison, it's been European bison from Poland or somewhere like that. I might have had it in a dish when I ate abroad, but I've never had American bison. I've never had buffalo. No.
Billy down in Louisiana said that he said, I usually hunt my deer meat out of my neighbor's freezer. It's a lot cheaper that way, and you don't have to
and
get
it's
up so early
safer.
going. Yeah, safer too.
Yes.
Well, it just
Safer.
depends on what kind of relationship you have with your neighbor, I guess. So
I suppose so.
That is
Yeah.
much fun.
now Dutchie said he's had zebra before.
I've never had zebra. No, I've had ostrich.
Isn't that a kangaroo?
Yeah, wallaby's tasty meat, according to Paddy Joe. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's done a couple of videos with wallaby meat. But I've had what else have I had? I've had alligator meat. I've had kangaroo meat, which was very disappointing. But Patrick recommends wallaby meat. I'd love to try wallaby. I've had ostrich, which was very nice. If a little lean, too lean.
Yeah. Brandon said he's had rattlesnake, alligator.
Oh, I've had rattlesnake. I had rattlesnake.
Awesome.
Where we were in Canada, we were at the Canadian Defence Research Establishment in the same sort of building complex as them, and there was this guy came in. He was a Cree Indian, and he'd come in off the prairie with metal cages with rattlers in them, and he cooked them on the barbecue.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was all right. The thing is, if the meat I had when I was in Canada at Emma's place was porcupine. Porcupine meat. Porcupine meat tends to taste of what it feeds on, so it's very much tastes of what it fed on that morning. Or she said she'd eaten some that must have been eating pine bark during the winter because it tasted foul. Mm-hmm. The one she cooked, it was what I call, and Emma's a really good cook. Mm-hmm. It's what I call, it's a meat that I ate and it was all right, and we all agreed that it was survival meat. Mm-hmm. It's meat that you would eat in a survival situation, but you won't hunt it out.
Yeah, I'd say that's a little bit of a sticky situation there, wouldn't it be?
You need to move on to ice cream.
Yeah.
Oh, Jeff, Tennessee
porcupine. Oh, and the other thing I've eaten is what they call tattoo in Trinidad, and that's bushmeat. It's armadillo.
Oh.
That is good. That is really tasty. Yeah.
Jeff over Tennessee
really
Buck
tasty.
Outdoors talks about elk meat. He said elk meat's great. I've had elk meat and different things like that around here too. Mark
I've
up
had moose,
in Maine,
not specifically elk.
he says ostrich, but just one drumstick, please. So. Have you seen the size of that leg? Yeah. Kangaroo,
Yeah.
Patrick says. Karen says she's had turtle soup in New Orleans. I've never had turtle soup. My dad used to talk about making it all the time. He never made any for me, but he said he loved it. But
Patrick said kangaroo.
I went into a French restaurant in a bistro in France, and I said, "Have you got frog's legs?" She said, "Oui, monsieur." I said, "Well, hop over the counter and get me a cheese sandwich."
oh Lord,
Y'all
help
are
us.
getting bad.
Billy says he's from Louisiana. They'll try anything once, well, maybe twice, So I know how that goes.
That's true.
Well, with a hot sauce on it, who knows? It's great, isn't it?
Gravy.
Yeah.
Put
Put that on a cracker, dude. Yeah.
Oh, slap your mama and hot sauce. That makes any
That's
food
right.
great.
Absolutely. Hey, what's one thing that no one would know about you or would ever believe? You got any interesting traits that you want to share with us?
I once cooked pies for Mrs. Miggins.
Okay.
Yeah, so on Blackadder the Third, which was a comedy TV series, but there was a character called Mrs. Miggins who was the pie shop lady. In real life, she liveried her horse or horses at the stables at the farm on which I was living. I told you I lived on that farm, the B&B farm. And I met her. Helen's a lovely lady, actually. Yeah.
Wow. That's cool. I hate to. You're fine. I hate to ask this question, but I always do, because all of us usually have one. Have you got any pet peeves in life?
Yeah.
That you
People
want to
who
share?
blow their noses and then examine the contents of the handkerchief.
Well, one thing I never have been able to understand why somebody'd snot in a rag and stick it back in their pocket. I just
Exactly.
Never got
That's paper or nothing, boys and girls. Throw it away. Get it away from you. Gosh. What?
I just don't get it. Oh, man. No, I know you got to have some kind of pet peeves that just aggravate
told
you.
you.
Well, I know he said that one, but
More pet peeves. Things that really bug me. Okay. Well, it is annoying when people tell you how to cook food on your own channel, and you look on their channel and they've got no content. That's annoying.
I bet.
yeah, you're right.
But you know the type. They're just narcissists, and they just what they do is better than anything you'll ever do.
Yeah.
But they don't seem to understand that you're doing it there in the moment, and we make mistakes. We do things wrong. Yes, I didn't sear the meat that time. Okay, you're the meat searing police, or what?
Yeah, absolutely. But I think overall, I mean, I know personally, for the most part, we don't get very much flack from people. We get a lot of, good feedback on most everything, encouragement. And, you get some suggestions. I mean, you gain some insight on some comments, Like I said, Mark tends to pick at me and elaborate a little bit, and I love that. But, people do leave comments where you're able to, I've even gotten video ideas, wanting to make a video for some of the questions.
I'd like to distinguish between people who make constructive criticism and people who just say, "Oh, you're doing it wrong," or like for instance, when I cook a British savoury mince, and the guy's having a go at me because it's not a chili.
Yeah.
Well, of course it's not a chili. It's called British savoury mince, Hey, duh.
Oh, that's funny right there. I don't care who you are.
So my stock answer to those people is, all right, yeah, make a video and show us all how to do it right.
Yeah. Now, Billy down there in Louisiana, he's borderline Tejas. Texas is a whole nother state from a whole nother country, of another state of mind. So this is a question that is usually controversial in a sense here in America, but talking about chili, do you put beans in chili or not?
Yes and yes and no and no. It depends on my mood at the time. What I prefer for my own taste is not.
Okay.
I like a Texas beef chili with the chunks in it. I do like that. I saw something the other day where a guy says, I think it was SEAL Team or something like that, and the Texan guy in there, the funny guy, he says, Texas ain't in the South.
True.
So you got the South in Texas, which is more South than the South, but it ain't the South.
It's not.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's right.
I throw my hands up. I don't understand these things. I'm just a limey, you know. Just
Yeah,
the subtleties of living in the United States of America.
yeah. Well, you
It's
know,
a
you
great
had mentioned,
country. Keep it and keep your guns as well, because don't let them take them off you.
yeah, that's
Because then the jackboot really comes down, and you're the last guys that have got them.
yeah, yeah. It's always a battle here over that,
Yeah.
and but I think a lot of people would be very surprised if it ever comes down to all that. But hope and pray it never does. But anyway,
I really hope and pray it never does.
you know, you talked to us a little bit earlier in this interview about you as a child or as a young man, 15-year-old or so, you went into the Navy.
Army.
Into the Army, I'm sorry, into the military is what I was trying to say, and I don't know why the Navy come out, but
because I said SEAL earlier.
Can you tell us what you wanted to be when you were a child?
The very first thing I wanted to be was a red engine driver.
Okay.
And the fire trucks, you know.
Right.
My grandmother, my maternal grandmother, would take me not far from here to the Coast Road fire station, and I'd see I called them the red engines, and the firemen were very kind and charming, and they'd lift me up and put me in the seat, and I'd sit there, and I always wanted to be a red engine driver. And then as long as I can remember, when I really started thinking about vocation, I always wanted to be a soldier. I wanted to be, so I wanted to get away from where I was, and I wanted to make a difference somehow, somewhere.
You may have told me, and I may have forgotten. So, how many years did you serve?
I did 2 years in Boys Service Army College, and it is full-time military service, but you do military training interspersed with education, and you come out of it with a military trade. I then went into Army Logistics, where I stayed for another 15 years.
Wow.
I thought you said 15.
Well, I know everybody over in that area, I'm sure.
Don't know that one.
What? Wait a minute, Teresa.
He's trying to start stuff.
I know he is. I know everybody appreciates your service over there and what you've done. So,
Yes.
my dad was a POW of the Second World War, and I've got his flag right back there. But
wow. I always wanted to ask you about the flag, but I never dared, because I know they're very poignant, aren't they? Because flags are handed to you.
He was in the European theater in World War II, and they got captured, and they nearly starved Daddy to death. He had double pneumonia. He was down to like 88 pounds when they finally got him out and got him into a hospital in France. And it was, as they say,
that's one war that had to be fought.
Yeah.
That war had to be fought. That was a just war. Because what they were doing, those animals, animals wouldn't do that to each other. What those creatures were doing to each other, to human beings, was disgusting. Yeah. War had to be fought.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but...
I'm a believer in the old... I think it was... I think it might have been Voltaire or a famous French general who said, although I might disagree with everything you say, I will defend to my death your right to say it.
Yeah.
And I strongly believe in that. I think we've got to learn this at the moment, because people are polarizing too much. We're not agreeing to disagree. It's like if you don't agree with me, you're evil and you've got to die. That's kind of the attitude that's going around at the moment. If you don't agree with me, you're a Nazi, or it is, that's gone too far. It's going too far, and
it really is,
and it's going nowhere good.
Well, I didn't know if it was that bad over there in your part of the world, or if it was just over here, but it's really getting out of proportion here.
Yeah, well, that's why I said keep your guns.
Yeah. Billy says thank you for your service, Pete, and to my dad as well. Thank you, Billy.
And he did.
Did you know that the top 10 freestanding armies in the world are only 11 million total troops? There are at least 70 million armed Americans. So that's 7 times the number of the top 10 standing armies.
Yeah, and no
wonder they want to grab your guns.
Yeah, and the thing about that is we could even break that down according to states. Michigan, Tennessee, Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas. Some of those 4 or 5 states probably have 80% of that.
Yeah. Interesting.
As you remember, Charlie Daniels was a Southern rock and roll country singer, recently passed away. He was a big advocate for Second Amendment rights and everything, just recently passed away. But he used to say, he had a saying in Tennessee, and I know Jeff, Tennessee Buck Outdoors, is in the house with us. He'll agree to this, but Charlie used to always say, that ain't going to set very well over here in Tennessee, some of the things they're doing and talking about doing. He always, I love that statement. That ain't going to set too well over here. That's a nice way of saying I wouldn't try that,
Go up.
Laura from up in Toronto, Canada is with us. Laura's Kitchen. Good to have you, Laura. What, Teresa?
I'm trying to show you. Go
down or up?
Wait.
Up. Sorry, Pete. I'm getting told what to do now.
Right there. That
one. And she's still wanting to try to start trouble.
I'm feeling better. Sorry.
Patrick says,
I always wanted to work in a Marmite factory. Yeah, doing noble work.
Oh, that's funny. So have you got any hobbies or anything like that?
Don't have time for hobbies. My YouTube is my hobby. Yeah, my gardening. I've taken up gardening, which you almost know. I'm a newbie gardener. If you want to see how a newbie gardener fumbles his way through a garden, come and have a look at my channel. Other hobbies. I've got lots of hobbies.
Yeah.
Normally based around computers.
Yeah.
Because I could do it sat on my fat butt.
Marcel says she's got to hop off for a little while and take her kids for a bike ride. So appreciate you being here, Marcel, and you have a great week ahead.
Bye, Marcel.
I had a question and I drew a blank because Teresa was poking at me and picking at
right
me.
There in front of
well,
you.
that wasn't on that. It was something Pete said I was going to follow up on. But oh, I know what it was. You when we asked about hobbies, and you said you didn't have a time for hobbies because of YouTube and everything. How much time do you put in a week on YouTube, do you think? Or I'll tell you what, let me rephrase that a little bit. How much time, we'll make it, we'll say how much time
per video
per week on your channel, and how much time do you think people should put in order to reach their goals as far as the threshold is concerned, minimum?
I think as a new channel, an aspiring channel, you need to keep yourself in people's faces. So I try to put out 3 a week if you can, or at least 3 a week. And that can be punishing. You know that can be punishing. Putting out 3 videos a week. Putting out 3 videos with original content, and that's even harder. You asked me how long I spend. I probably a lot of the time I spend is in my head, arranging things in the order I want them, thinking about ingredients, obtaining the ingredients, collecting the ingredients together, how I'm going to present it, and then as soon as the camera rolls, I just go. And I'll make my mistakes and edit the mistakes out. I just roll. I don't rehearse. I just go. I just roll. And I've got better and better at that. So the editing becomes less and less. So if I was to say an hour, if I'm doing an hour setting up, filming to get a 10-15 minute video, I'm going to do round about 2 hours editing, tightening it up, taking my swear words out of it. And then you've got about an hour to upload it, haven't you, after you've done it. But then once I've made the video, I've got to watch it. And then pick holes in it. If there's any problems with it, I'll go back to my video editor and iron them out. So it all takes time. And if you're doing that for 3 videos a week, it's going to take a big slice of your time.
Yeah, it sure does.
If you're going to do it well.
Yeah.
And also condense your videos down a bit. Don't ramble. I learned that the hard way. I rambled and then I got too many. Oh, your videos are too long. And I was thinking, well, all right, I'm going to keep the content in. I want the content in, but I got to see about ways that I can shorten them. Right. So what I do is I cut out all the ums and the r's and the pregnant pauses. So I do that because I condense it into cut out the idiosyncrasies, because we've all got them. We've been in classroom situations where you had a fairly new or untrained instructor with their idiosyncrasies, and instead of listening to what they're saying, you're just counting how many times they say
Yeah, I have a problem with that. It's just a country thing here for us.
Yeah, I do it. I all the time. I'm doing it here. I do it, but I spend time editing ums out because they don't add to the video. They don't. And the pregnant pauses. Sometimes I'll leave a pause in for effect, but usually I'll shorten pauses.
Now,
I'll just crossfade them.
Are you primarily doing voiceovers, or are you doing live, or?
No, I just fire straight from the hip. I very rarely do voiceovers.
Okay.
I'll do a voiceover where I've lost footage and things like that. That's why this wall's changed here. I've got acoustic tiles up there now, and I've got this snowball mic on a boom. Because when I do have to record, I record and then straight into Audacity, and then I filter out the noise. So I'll let it run for 4 or 5 seconds to establish the background noise, and then I will just use that little bit of background noise to filter out the background noise.
Jamie Mack popped in the house with us. Good to have you, sir. Let's see here. Mark says that's why you put the boing in there to keep us awake.
Oh, the boing. Yeah, my boing.
You're boing in your videos. Boing.
Yeah, I think it's called RT. Hang on, I'll read it out to you. R2D2 bleep or something.
Oh.
What's it called? R2.
Billy says his wife takes forever before she'll let him look at his videos, and then she edits more after he watches it. So
it's called R2D2 astrodroid.wav. So it's a WAV file. R2D2 astrodroid. Boing.
Tricia's got me looking for another.
Right there.
Did you visit a Vegemite factory when you were in Australia? That's the last time I'm going to ask.
No, I tried to stay on hallowed ground as much as I could.
Yeah,
It's Patrick doing it, not
I
me.
know. Are you you any kind of
Wait,
sports
wait.
fan? Well, okay.
When this is good advice for you. When you're in a devil country, try to stay on hallowed ground. It's safer. Vegemite, Vegemite. It's this. Look, B.
Devil.
Not a
The
good thing.
devil sign.
Oh, you two guys beat all. Are you any kind of sports fan?
Sports. Well, I always liked in the military. I always took part in sports that was very small, very kind of elite teams. So I liked offshore sailing, I liked rock climbing, and mountaineering. So they were the things I was really into: rock climbing, mountaineering, and offshore sailing.
You like music, or are you into any kind of music? Any particular kind of music?
I'm very eclectic now. When I was a young man, just sort of in my late teens, I was heavily into R&B music.
Uh-oh. What happened?
Uh-oh, we lost him. Well, it looks like Pete, his internet died on him or something, but he'll be back. There he is. So we lost you there for just a minute. I don't. We've lost your sound there, Pete.
Can't hear you.
How's that?
Yeah, there you are.
This beep is like a tsunami that hits my computer and it knocks everything off. I yet to find out what causes it, but it seems to be when I'm. I wonder if it's anything to do with the Bluetooth headset, because it's only really happened since I've got this.
Yeah, Bluetooth is not super friendly with StreamYard for some reason.
That's why.
No, it's very, very strange.
Yeah. Jamie Mack posted in here. He says he's been planning to do a collab idea. He might contact some of us, so you guys be on alert for that. Appreciate that, Jamie. We were talking about music. Have you ever been to any concerts?
Yeah. I went to one of the last concerts James Brown ever made.
Really? Wow.
And that was in Gosport in England, yeah. It was a couple of years before he died, but it was a Gosport. I swear, that guy never stopped moving for 2.5 hours. He was up on stage and he's getting true. From what I understand from that, he wasn't a particularly nice man to know, but he was. He was dyed in the wool entertainer. If you cut his head off, it'd have entertainer written around the ring,
Yeah.
Because he was amazing.
Dutchie's got to call it a night. It's after midnight there, so and it is for you too. We've been over a little over 2 hours. I won't keep you much longer. I just got a couple more questions here for you. But what are you most proud of, Pete?
I'm a father, so it's got to be my children.
How many children do you have?
I have 4, but I'm estranged from 2 of them. And that's a sadness that will follow me to my grave, but it's just the way it is.
I understand.
Outside of my children, it was my duty and honour to serve in an army bomb disposal unit, and I served with some amazing people. One of the operators I served with died recently, and that was a bit of a sadness. But I don't know what he died of. I think he might have had cancer. But he was only a couple of years older than me, so.
Yeah, I don't know what your age is, but it's just as we get older.
21.
Yeah. To the what
Again.
power? To the what power?
He
Yeah.
said that. He said
I'm
again.
21 again.
Again.
But we recently had one of Teresa's classmates. I think he was a year older than him, or a
He's
year older than Teresa.
me.
Just had a massive heart attack just recently, and as we get
Last
older,
week.
it just seems like it. It's so many people, and you find yourself looking at the obituary pages of newspapers and online and things more than you ever did, and
Yeah, I see a lot through the. I'm still in, like a lot of ex-military. I'm still in contact with a lot of my
yeah,
serving buddies. Buddies I serve with, and recently there was a particularly good guy that passed, and the operator I told you about is another one. So they both saddened me to my core, really. But
yeah,
life goes on, doesn't it?
yeah, it does. Hey, on a lighter note, if you were arrested for no explanation, what would your friends and family assume you had done? Beat up some YouTuber that made a bad comment, I guess, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I've got a shorter fuse than I had when I was younger. I was always a bit more tolerant when I was younger. But there's less time to be tolerant in as you get older.
Yeah,
And tolerance is a finite resource.
yeah,
And when it's gone, right?
yeah, yeah. Our fuses tend to get shorter at times, don't they? Mark said.
No, but
Mark,
let's just say that we tolerate, but there comes a point when tolerance itself has become the problem.
yeah, that's right. Very good. Mark said he just celebrated his 33rd anniversary of his 33rd birthday. So
The 33rd anniversary is 33rd. Yeah. I'm coming up 64 now, so.
yeah. I've heard you ask this, and I'm going to ask it too. But if you was to win the lottery, what would you do with the money?
I'd buy a bigger house with a better kitchen.
Me too.
But I'd invest some money in some friends. I'd rather not expand on that, but I would invest money in some friends who I value.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My children would be sorted out, of course, but they wouldn't go without. But my friends had come into something as well.
Yeah. That is very
Joe
interesting.
said he could buy a bigger air fryer.
Patrick said you could always buy a bigger air fryer, so you got a bigger kitchen, you got to have a bigger air fryer, right?
Well, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Part of fitting out the kitchen. I'd also have I'd also buy a big trash can. I'd buy cases of Vegemite and throw them in the trash can, just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
Just to do the world a service.
Stephen, cooking with this guy, says he's got to take off. He's got to work in the morning. So good to have you with us, Stephen. Take care. Have a good week, my friend. So, well, I just got a couple quick questions here, Pete, and we'll call it a night ourselves. But how can, of course, I know Stephen is so good about moderating for us. He's always so good about putting all the links in there. But how can our guest follow you?
Well, if you go hashtag LazyCookPete, all one word, that will find me. Lazy Cook will find me in YouTube by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Facebook.
I'm also on Facebook as Lazy Cook, the Lazy Cook Show on Facebook. The Lazy Cook Show. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Before we go, I always like to ask this question too. would you happen to have anything you'd like to say to our guest in the chat room, and certainly to your subscribers before we take off?
Yeah, thank you. To the guests here tonight, thank you. And to those watching it as a non-live program, thank you. Thanks for your interest, and I'm glad you came along. Look after these people. Look after Mike and Teresa. Give them the love they deserve, because they're doing a great job here. And to those of you who are creators, just have a bit of faith. Don't give up. Just keep, because it's an old Taoist saying that winners never quit and quitters never win. Yeah. So stick with it. As long as you're getting something out of it, make sure you're getting something out of it. Even if it's only the satisfaction of seeing your finished product up on the screen. But make sure you're getting something out of it, because if you're giving and you're not getting, that's no kind of way to be.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know you're probably in agreement with me on this, that, our subscribers, we certainly appreciate everyone here that's subscribed to us. If you've not yet been over to Pete's channel, be sure and go check out his work. He calls himself the Lazy Cook, and I tend to disagree, but he has some very nice recipes. He's got some things that you may have not seen on YouTube. He does some very diverse cooking, and it's very great. You'll learn a lot from him, and certainly give him a thumbs up. Leave him a comment. If you've never been there yet before, be sure and subscribe to him. Tell him you found him over here off the live stream on Mr. Cast Iron. I know he'll certainly appreciate that. Pete's always active in the comment section of all of his videos. If he's a friend of yours and a subscriber, he'll interact with you at any time. I know there'll be comments on this video. If you've not yet hit the thumbs up, we certainly appreciate a thumbs up on it, and we'll be leaving some comments on there, and I know Pete will be interacting too. So if you have any questions that we didn't get to ask tonight, be sure and throw those in the comments of this video, and I know Pete will always come back and follow up on that. So with that said,
one last thing.
Yes, sir.
To everyone listening to this, try Vegemite, try it, and then try the real thing, Marmite.
I've got to go on that, folks. Listen, hey, we really appreciate everybody here tonight, and if you've not been interviewed by anyone like Pete or myself, and you'd like to be interviewed, be sure and send us an email, and we've got email in our About section. I'd love to. Matter of fact, on that, I'd like to share something with everyone here before we go real quick. I do have a list going on here of certain ones. Of course, tonight's Pete Thomas. Next weekend is Easter. I'm not sure we're going to be doing anything yet. I know we're going to go out to Teresa's dad's house and do some cooking, so we may not be live next Sunday night. The following Sunday, starting in April the 11th, we've got Lisa's Always Cooking going to be with us. Jason with Chef Adventures is going to be on the 18th. I've been in talks with Dan's Outdoor Cooking on the 25th possibly, and so on and so forth. We got Chef Grace, John Skull and Mortar, and my moderator, Cooking with Stephen and Jacqueline. We're trying to iron out some dates. He's real busy and everything. Then we got Mike Baker's Barbecue, which is a guy from my hometown. I'm looking forward to that. He's a real small channel just getting started, so we're looking at trying to show him some love, get him going. He's doing some great barbecue stuff, so if you've not yet checked him out, be sure and do that. Folks, we certainly appreciate you guys taking the time out of your busy days to watch this. We love all you guys. We wish you all the best, and we hope you have a great week ahead, and we'll be in touch. Everybody take care, and we'll talk to you later. It's Mike and Teresa, Mr. Cast Iron, along with Pete Thomas. We'll see you guys later.
See you guys. Thanks.